You are watching the high-tech introduction to Lynn Schaeffer Productions' 1999 Thunder in the Pennsylvania Mountains. I'm your narrator, Wayne Harper. December 5th. The indoor circuit requires a little travel, but it's always worth the trip. The Can-Am 3/4 midgets warm up the Niagara Falls Convention Center. 35 wingless beauties fill the pits. Russ Bailey rides the Jersey barrier. Don Sherwood, no doubt in search of the shutoff switch.
I don't think you got anything for that.
I think he's okay.
We can look.
Coming down? Right, make those doors. You got any humility pills over there?
Qualifying is tough. Mel Robb got right back into the race. The feature is 50 laps. The blue number 7 of Dan May moves into the lead past the yellow number 31 of Wayne Turnbull. Keith Dempster in the yellow number 5. Back in the pack, the fluorescent pinkish number 51, piloted by Glens Mills, Pennsylvania's Lou Ciccone, is putting on the best indoor show east of the Chili Bowl. Lou, who is driving one of the visiting ATQMRA machines, narrowly avoids a spinning Andy McAreth while charging through the field after starting 17th. Up front, Mark Summit in the white car has moved into second behind Dan May. When May parked sideways in turn 1, Summit inherited the lead, but here comes Keith Dempster, and notice Ciccone into view as well. With 35 laps in, Liquid Lou has passed Summit into second. But now a flip by Jeff Riderby brings out the red. Ciccone was restarted behind Summit, but makes the pass again right on the restart. Only to be relegated back to third once again by another spin. No problem as Lou has the lead in half a lap. But there's one hot Italian in that car. Now what? Lou is assessed a penalty for jumping. Fortunately, there is one more yellow, which will allow Ciccone to make the winning pass of final time. Keith Dempster is the man to beat here and brings his small super modified up to pace, challenging the leader. But in the end, it's Lou Ciccone over Keith Dempster and Mark Summit. You gotta like the interview.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I won it only 4 times tonight. It was only 50 lap feature I raced so far. Every lap car that I passed, or every car I passed for position they put in front of me, it's worth the fight because I just showed everybody I could still do it no matter how many cars they put in front of me. But Keith Dempster and the 78, Samant really raced really good, really hard, real clean. And I'll race against some guys like that 100 laps if I have to, because that's the way race car drivers are supposed to race.
Midwest Spills specialist Brian Thompson takes over as our next indoor wintertime venue is the Tulsa Expo. Many classes participate in one long day on the spacious quarter mile with dozens of flips. It's January 2nd, and what a way to start the new year. Small car racers are here from across the country, and sometimes they get into big trouble. Cale Carter, number 71, is involved in some synchronized crashing. Number 97 tears the right front wheel off. Greg Bruner gets over a wheel on turn 4. Did you get that shot, Kevin? The micro sprints are driven by the stars of tomorrow, and they know where the loud pedal is. Tony Roney tags the wall. Blake Feast flips after tangling with Craig Kinzer. Kinzer also dumped in the crash, and now the corner man makes it a triple. The Tulsa Shootout continues with a major whoa Nelly. Steve Ring slaps the wall and rolls it over. The communist micros invade Oklahoma. But all of this is just a warm-up for the following week. Always quotable Mike Harker says the Chili Bowl is the true seventh wonder of the world. Better than any pyramid. No rainouts, no time trials, no back gate classes, and no wings. Johnny Murdoch is just one of the well over 100 real race cars broad-sliding wheel-to-wheel on the well-prepared dirt during the 3 nights of heaven known as the Chili Bowl. Now midget racing's premier event. That didn't hurt a bit, says Greg Lukert. Jeremy Farmer's having problems at the other end of the expo. Ouch, says Lukert. And now Greg's in trouble again. Jason Leffler is one of the best. Kevin Myers becomes a victim after Barry Red and Ricky Johnson tangle in hot laps. Dave Darland flips under the checkers and misses a transfer by 1 spot. Dennis Mann during Saturday hot laps. Mike Roselli from here in the East. Richie Duell gets it upside down hard in the first turn. Alan Davis gets over Ricky Shelton under yellow. Ron Kuhn thrills the crowd, estimated at 12,000. Matt Streeter gets over Scott Wyant and does a good one. Jeff Dickerson will need some front-end parts. But Flip of the Week honors go to Jeff Flesher. One warning about the Chili Bowl. If you go once, you'll have to go every year. Brian's indoor session closes as a midget spins into the wall at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Back to Niagara Falls in the Convention Center. It's January 9th. 33 Can-Am TQs will compete for the $5,000 purse on the 1/6-mile oval with heavy snow outside. The white number 9 of asphalt modified regular Bill Carey leads into lap traffic with the blue number 7 of Dan May, who spun out of the lead here the last time, in pursuit. Surprisingly, the yellow car of Keith Dempster is about to be lapped. Dan makes the pass with 5 to go in the 50-lapper.
So Dan May takes over the lead with 2 laps to go.
Dan is from Ontario and a former champion of the Winter Series. The Communist Micros made their first ever appearance here at Niagara, bringing wings indoors and thrilling the crowd with a pair of major front stretch slides.
Infield, and it looks like it. Yeah, I think that's terminal. Oh, we got a problem. Rob Rose flipping, tipping, dipping here.
East Bay Raceway, Tampa, Florida. That's Greg Wilson from Benton Ridge, Ohio. Mike Woodring is the man to beat in New York's Empire State Sprint competition. The 360 Nationals run for 3 straight nights here, beginning Thursday, January 28th. Greg Wilson suffers little damage after getting bumped during tough qualifying with 46 sprinters beneath the palms. Local Jim Perricone slips in the loose stuff. The feature gets green with favorite Gary Wright from Texas spinning in the first turn. Eventual contact was worse than it looks here, forcing Gary to sit out the next night, making repairs to broken motor mounts. Tim Crawley from Michigan, number 91, leads over Mike Woodring, number 19, and the yellow 8 of Kenny Jacobs.
Tim Crawley, Mike Woodring, Kenny Jacobs on the
When Jacobs slipped his Holbrook ride under Woodring into second, it becomes the winning move, as Crawley and Woodring become victims of a spinning lapped car. Despite laying it over, Woodring would continue for a 12th place finish. On the restart, Florida's Ernie Teed returns us to red flag conditions. From Holmesville, Ohio, Kenny Jacobs holds off a strong late race challenge from familiar Kenny Adams in the Haars 88, who plans to migrate from Tampa to race in Pennsylvania this year.
The checkered flag coming out now. Adams goes to the outside. Kenny Adams around the outside, down the wire. It's Jacobs and Adams.
Well, the race car just worked awesome all night long, and we got a little problem. We got the brakes are dragging on the car, and after we run about 5 laps, it starts slowing the car down. We can't get the brakes off, but the car was real good, and I knew somebody was right on me the last couple laps there, but I was afraid to give up that bottom groove because it was so fast on the bottom. So it just worked out, and it was our night tonight.
More problems for Tim Crawley Friday night as a major safety feature comes loose, causing him to crash hard during the dash. Kevin Darling from Delaware, number 9. Mike Tharp from Florida, 91. Kenny Jacobs appears to be headed for 2 in a row, slipping through lap traffic in his yellow number 8. The last lap is one too many for Kenny. First past the crippled racer was Terry McCarl, number 3, from Pleasant Hills, Iowa. Kenny Adams recovered from an early race spin and took bridesmaid honors for the second night in a row.
Adams, Laney.
Well, we were good early, and that actually kind of scared me because I should have tightened it up a little more starting at pole. Kenny drove by us. We were just too loose. I kind of didn't read the track very well. This is a real tricky racetrack with the Florida sand, and I've always seemed to run real well here. Ran top 5 a lot of times with the All-Stars and never been able to pick one off, so this feels good. And I just want to thank the Mulligans. They're great people, and they gave me a great car to drive, and hopefully I can come down and drive for them again next year.
Terry not only knows what to do with a sprint car, but a trophy girl as well. Saturday is the finale for the 360s. Brady Alvis is a regular here in the weekly 360 competition. As a great crowd watches, DJ Brazier from Louisiana presents the fireworks. The tank is A-OK. The 40-lapper gets greened with 97 East Bay Point champ Gene Lasker, number 02, leading for 17 laps, till he steps on it among lap traffic. This handed the lead over to the number 52 of Ron Laney, but fellow Texan Gary Wright is back tonight.
Gary Wright around the outside, and Gary Wright go over the lead down the back straightaway as they run side by side. Gary Wright. Holy cow!
Laney's good run goes up in flames completely on lap 36. Mike Van Dusen is also involved.
Gary Wright went up to the outside, but Kenny Adams couldn't get down below him quick enough. Here they
You'll never guess who's going to finish second.
way high to the outside.
Put on his head. He's the king of the 360 Winter Nationals. Put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Wright.
Thursday night, February 4th, is the first of 4 nights of All-Star competition here at the giant Volusia County dirt track near Daytona. A lot of familiar racers now. Fields again will number in the 40s. A distraction in turn 2, and Butch Schroeder dumps his temporary ride. The All-Stars do invert some from time trials, but tonight, 29-year-old posse member Greg Hudnett from Memphis, Tennessee, starts on the front row and leads every lap in the Bob Stewart York-based Apple Chevrolet number 12. Friday, and another wire-to-wire winner. Kevin Gobrecht leads fellow posseers Hudnett and Jeff Shepard in a 1-2-3 sweep.
Oh yeah, me and Greg are real good friends, and you know, I was really glad to see him win last night. And you know, as long as one of us wins, I know he'd rather win, and I know I'd rather win. But you know, it's friendly competition between us guys. So you know, I'm really glad he came in second. Well, all the Pennsylvania guys are up there tonight, and you know, I just got to thank the Zemco guys once again.
And the Zemco guys will have their work cut out for them after Kevin catches a tire on Saturday night. Kevin's able to free himself quickly, fortunately. In the freeze frame, that's just about as high as we've ever seen a sprint car. A happier picture for the team is Billy Pouch, first across the finish line ahead of consistent Greg Hudnett after a last lap pass, which would turn out to be the only pass for the lead in the Volusia All-Star Series. Brian Ellenberger has been making a name for himself across Pennsylvania. Florida has not been particularly profitable for the Butler native. Brian's Sunday night crash was his 3rd flip during the last 2 annual Volusia County swings. Score 1 for the All-Stars. Fremont, Ohio's Frankie Kerr, driving the orange Chauffeur number 23, leads the whole way over Billy Pouch, Lance DeWeese, and Joey Saldana.
my car owner, Stan and Barb Show. This is our 10th anniversary together. What a way to start the year.
Frankie, I mentioned that to the race fans of the 10th anniversary, and normally that doesn't usually go with a sprint car driver and a race car owner. So that is certainly to be congratulated for your 10th anniversary.
Yeah, it's about 10 times longer than most drivers having a ride.
This is true. There's no doubt about it. Frankie, when did you think you had that baby wrapped up?
Well, I never did. I didn't know. I saw on the board number 1 there, so I knew Pouchy was behind me. You know, he's an old fox, and you know, I just couldn't slip up in traffic there, and you know, it just turned out our way.
We leave Volusia with this gem, made possible by the modified stock cars. February 10th, the Wednesday opener of the 4-night All-Star East Bay Series will be a long night. We could use more like the lovely and gracious Jean Lynch. It's all her fault. The G-Man is back, gassing to an easy win during warm-ups. Texan Johnny Bankston gets crashed, and to correct an error in last year's production, Bill Bryan never drove the red number 8. Aliquippa's Tim Schaeffer, number 55. Kenny Adams and Ohio's Eric Hysong, number 72, during the B main. On the start of the feature, Kurt Winkler catches the turn 4 wall near the back, and now look up front. We have 3 more flippers. This crash started when Fred Raymer bounced off the not-so-popular new inside wall and took Terry McCarl, 24, and Illinois' Jim Mogan along for the ride. Here's another look from the stands. The second try was little better. Bloomington, Indiana's Kelly Kinzer spins and waits for the inevitable, which is personified by Kenny Jacobs. Gary Wright is also out for the night after failing to safely skirt the incident. Frankie Kerr led 4 laps, but the Pennsylvania posse has more experience at passing than any other sprint car group. Here comes the 461 of Lance DeWeese. Jeff Shepard, number 4, moves into second. On lap 12, the Upper Cove Marylander powers under DeWeese. DeWeese would slip to 4th as Danny Lazowski took second with Hudnet 3rd. More impressive to us than Jeff's frisbee tossing is the dirt track attire of the friendly East Bay Trophy girls. Thursday night, Frankie Kerr holds the lead over fellow front row starter Mike Frost from Zion, Illinois, 88. Jeff Shepard into 3rd, but contact with IRA regular Frost on the 10th lap rules out likely back-to-back wins. Kerr still is being hassled by the PA passers. Lap 15, Billy Pouch in the John Zemaitis Silver Anniversary Maxim number 1 makes the winning move. The finish was Pouch over Kerr with Danny Lazowski 3rd.
I'll tell you, it had to make you feel pretty good to see that 4J car stopped over there, knowing that machine was going to the tail. Both of you cars, about lap 6, really came on.
Yeah, you know, mine just looked like he clicked right in at the start. Seemed to take mine about 5 or 6 laps, and after I seen him get spun there, I guess I gained a little extra momentum, and I looked up at the board. We had 10 laps in. I said, I better get with it here if we're going to win this race, and that just got to give me a little added motive there to get on the gas a little harder. But, you know, you got to have a good gas pedal. I got to thank John and Pee Wee's and Miners for giving me good equipment here to put me up here.
Friday night. That was close. Local driver of the number 3 is Johnny Gilbertson. Johnny Bankston's best night here in Florida was a 3rd place in the 360 finale.
Right line in turn 4. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're green. We're green.
Gary Wright grabs the lead at the feature green. But watch this. Gary's not handling quite right, but hangs on over Jack Howdenshield and Jeff Shepard.
Did you know you had a broken Jacob's ladder? And I suppose it probably was when you went green flag racing that you finally realized that, huh?
Well, as hard as I hit them, that's lucky it's all broke because, I mean, I hit them a ton down there when they spun. You know, there was nowhere to go, and I said, well, here we go in another wreck. So, you know, it's been tough dodging them this week, but we're trying, and like I say, everything's great. The crew, Dave Osh and Ernie and my dad and everybody, Fred, they all, I got to say thanks to F&J Construction and Panel Motorsports.
The Saturday night finale. Ed's son, Cy Lynch, works on repairing the black-colored deuce before Daddy goes out to start bending it up again. Raymond Shank gets over Leonard Lee. Shanky is okay. Before the feature, our own Bev Thompson got the Press Babe Award. Speedo makes us jealous. East Bay's efforts to be the most fan-friendly track anywhere were from the heart. The feature tonight is 50 laps. For the first time, the track did slick over. Kevin Gobrecht, number 11, outruns Gary Wright. But here comes the Maxim number 4 of Jeff Shepard. Jeff pulled away to the most dominating win we saw any time in Florida. The Les Stewart team will share over $10,000.
I understand, Jeff, you put a little extra fuel in the car for the dash, see what it was going to do in the feature. Did that help you pay off in this?
I have no clue. I don't know what we did, but the only thing I know is God must have been watching us because everything we did was perfectly right. I have no clue what we did. I hope we wrote it down.
I hope so, too.
Actually, I tell you the God's honest truth, the same way this car's sitting right here is the same way this car sat right here a year ago today. I did the same exact thing all the way down to the tires, the stagger, the wheel spacings, everything is exactly identical, and it worked out 2 for 2.
The nightmare comes true. It's time to leave Florida. February 19th, back in PA. What is the biggest event of all on the circuit? The Outlaws, the Grove National, Philadelphia's Pennzoil Motorsports Show? Well, unless our old eyes deceive us, it's none of these, but is the Motorama, held for 3 days at the Harrisburg Farm Show Complex. There are many reasons, including the Miss Motorama contest. Here's several of the beautiful faces. We said beautiful faces. Oh well, our camera always seems to suffer alignment problems at this event. Bobby is a big-time Kevin Gobrecht fan, and of course is the hot dog girl at Lincoln. Danielle sings the national anthem frequently at Selinsgrove Speedway. The pageant is always a successful fundraiser to help find a cure for spina bifida. Out of about 20 contestants, Bobby and Danielle were second and first respectively. Working with little help from the mainstream racing press, Trailway promoter Brad Hostetter has hit pay dirt here at Motorama. The micros take to the biggest of 5 different racetracks set up in the giant complex. The first lap of the first heat. That's Troy Weitzel. "56 racers fight over 15 starting spots.
West now moving in the inside, gets up on top of Weaver, and there the 2 cars sit.
With qualifying heats completed in the afternoon, the feature is flagged off right on time at 8 o'clock Friday evening. Steve Lenning will come back to finish 7th after his rollover in the inevitable first-turn pilot. Kevin Nouse of Mechanicsburg, number 97, holds off teammate Mike Dicely for his first Motorama win.
It's got to feel good opening up the season like this.
Oh yeah, it feels really good. I've been this is my 6th year here, and the best I finished was 2nd to Mike 1 year, and I love racing here. I would race here every week if they ran here. It's good racing, and it's a lot tougher than everybody thinks, and it's not a bunch of beating and banging like everybody thinks. I mean, they get 60 cars here, and only 15 qualify, so 75% of the field's going home. That makes it tough.
The first lap of the celebrity feature may have set the record for caution flag-free contact. Kevin Gobrecht in the black car got the most hits in.
Up on the halfway side with Danny Jones still leading. Here comes Becca. She takes over the lead. She's going to be tough.
Opportunity knocks for Becca Anderson, who now leads Danny Jones and the rest of the field. But here comes Jones on the inside with a lap and a half to go. It's Jones in the number 4 over Gobrecht, Jim Shuttlesworth, and Anderson in the out-of-control 10-lapper.
Danny Jones from Hanover, Pennsylvania, your winner.
Danny, what a ride, man. What a finish.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We started back there in 8th place, and I just kind of bided my time and picked my way up through there under them cautions. And, you know, they'd move high and just let the lane open. I got to the lead there, and I knew I didn't have it under control. Like 10 years ago, or 5 years ago when I ran Mike races, you get in that situation, and I would feel comfortable, but just didn't feel comfortable with the car and everything because I just ain't used to it. And I bicycled down here in 4, and Becca got me, and believe me, I knew it was Becca.
February 20th, Lincoln. To keep opening day crowds from being too large, the season begins in the coldest part of the winter. Heads up started Fred Raymer on the pole, although Kevin Gobrecht made a race of it. Keith Kaufman finished 3rd. The big news is the return of Kenny Adams to the circuit.
Well, I think, you know, once we get going here in the right direction, Kenny being back is going to improve me as a racer because I'm going to try. I mean, I always try hard, but there was a time way back when we were racing before that something happened and I had to come from the back, and I told myself the only reason I did it was because of Kenny, because there is nothing I'd rather do than wax his ass. Yeah, I'll tell you, we had a rough Florida. I have a hard time running down there, but a lot of our guys, Jeff Shepard the last day, guys up here ought to be proud of him because he waxed everybody's ass, and he did a hell of a job. But we were lucky to start on the pole tonight. I don't know, we didn't have the fastest car, but we were lucky enough to get it done. You know, just want to thank Al and all the guys for working on it. Mannheim Auto Auction, Cindy Rowe, and, you know, just everybody. I'm just glad to get this first win out of the way. We got some work to do, though. We changed our motor around a little bit, and it's a little too throttly, so we got to change that around.
February 21st, Keith Kaufman in the Middlesworth number 7 leads the 18-car feature before a couple hundred frozen fans at Williams Grove. Lap 9, Jeff Shepard, number 4, is the new leader. Racing under freezing conditions not only helps keep the crowd down, but the racer's expense is high, as it's very hard on equipment. Flying Brian Paulus moves into 2nd as Kaufman's engine freezes to death. Paulus started 10th, but his number 28 is hooked up on the outside. It's the Mechanicsburg native's 2nd career Grove win. Shepard 2nd, Lance DeWeese 3rd.
You won one in the daytime before, but I don't think could have been as much fun as it was today.
No, today the guys, they really, and myself, we were all on everybody's case about even coming. It was so cold. And I told myself, we're going to waste our time and be here. We better win the thing, make it worthwhile.
Well, you sure did it. And you did it in exciting fashion. I mean, you passed all the hot shoes out there today.
I was pretty lit up about myself on the first lap. We're having a mag switch problem, and I had it in the off position. I passed 2 cars, the motor started shutting on and off, and I lost some positions. And I was like, I can't believe I was so dumb. So, got to restart. I knew what was going on. We've got it all fixed up, and the car was moving.
Was that the game plan to run the top? You were the first one that found it, by the way.
Everybody in front of me was down low, and Carl Kinzer told me if everybody's low, run high.
Well, that sure worked. A couple of them followed you up there after you passed them, but you were clearly the fastest car on the racetrack today.
I love to hear stuff like that.
What did you think when you made the draw? Where'd you start, 10th?
Yeah.
What did you think that was the worst possible position you could have had on the draw?
Honestly, I've been telling the guys that if I'm going to win a race, even the Labor Day show last year at Port Royal, that if I could win a race, I wanted to win it from the worst possible position, and I think we did it today.
February 27th, tacky track conditions at Lincoln. Keith Kaufman's flip necessitates a complete feature restart. Billy Wilburn's wheelies eventually caught up to him. Here's another view of Rusty Wallace's tire changer bending a frame. The third and final red is for Todd Gracie and Dan Dietrich, and also Sean Keane. Good for a start. 48-year-old teenager Steve Siegel, 59, leads on the restart. Steve's fellow New Oxforder Kevin Gobrecht, number 11, is putting on the show after starting 9th. Past Brian Paulus into 3rd. Past the 07 of Jeff Rohrball into 2nd. Lap 16 includes the winning pass. Kevin's teammate Billy Pouts, number 1, made a late race charge which earned him a 6th, but left a couple other drivers, including Chris Ace, scratching their heads. It's the G-Man's 7th career Lincoln win. March 7th, the 358 sprinters make their season debut at Williams Grove. Tim Seiler pitted outside the backstretch, Mark Yinger inside turn 4, but they get much closer together after the high winds set Yinger into an inside tire barrier during warm-ups. High winds and Arctic temperatures held the field to just 20. Greg Libby will be back after also being victimized by wind during warm-ups. A common scene today. After a feature restart, Doug Esch, number 6, and Greg Libby make it all worthwhile.
Green is back out. Green is back out. 4 laps left. Libby makes a bid on the inside this time and takes the lead. Greg Libby back into the lead. Esch wants it back and he gets it. Libby coming after him on the backstretch again, back in front. As they head into 3, Doug Esch dives low, Libby to the outside, sideways off number 4. Greg Libby's got the lead. He's got Doug Esch in tow. We've got 3 laps left. Esch to the low side again, Libby up top. Great slingshots off the corner with the lead in the 77. Last lap coming up. Doug Esch to the low side, slides up in front of Libby. Libby turns the corner underneath and maintains the lead on the backstretch. They're at the bridge. 1-2, Libby and Esch. Doug to the low side. Greg up top. Here they come off forward. Checkered flag coming out. Esch leaps it. Greg Libby will win it. Eichelberger will get second.
Great, congratulations. Thanks a lot. I tell you, the biggest people that need thanked here are these people that are in the grandstands and in the infield that are here to watch this race. You are real race fans, and I'm so grateful to win in front of you. You're great. You're the greatest.
The Grove regulars are 21 strong in the pits, but now we're down to 20 as Jeff Shepard leaves on the first lap of the first heat. The number 4 landed a considerable distance from the track, but Jeff is okay. Pole sitter Kenny Adams will lead 12 laps before Greg Hodnett takes over.
Adams and Hodnett well ahead of Raymer. Watch Kenny Adams work the lap traffic in turn 3. Hodnett ducks to the low side. Hodnett drives by Kenny Adams in turn number 4. We've got a new race leader.
Hodnett's lead lasts only 3 laps as broken steering causes the number 12 to clout the outside rail. It's the suntan Malabar, Florida resident's 7th Grove win and his first since 1992.
Yeah, there's not many of them, but they made a lot of noise. They sure remembered you. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Bruce. I'll tell you, we've been struggling real hard since I got back to Pennsylvania, and it was, I have to really thank my car owner, Joe, and Peggy, Nikki Hars, and Jen. I mean, they really kept the faith. We've been struggling real hard, running in the back, and just keep changing stuff, and we got lucky and got a good number today, start up front, and we got everything straightened out. Last week we were real bad, and everybody said, don't panic, everything will be fine. It's just going to take some time, and I'll tell you, it feels real good.
March 13th, 32 sprinters are at Lincoln. During the heat race competition, both Brian Paulus and Keith Kaufman will run into trouble while holding commanding last lap leads. Neil Emspacher. Oh well, at least he wasn't leading. Fred Raymer leads Billy Pouch under the feature white flag. Pouch will recover to finish third behind Raymer and Todd Schaeffer. March 20th, 38 sprinters are at Lincoln. Jonathan Stevens is among several Ohio invaders. The 16-year-old is in his learning fast stage. Feature time. Keith Kaufman starts on the pole, keeps her on all fours, and leads every lap.
You have been fast all year. Just some bad luck here the last few weeks. It's good to see you stay out of trouble today. Well, probably everybody says it's too old. I've been hitting too much stuff. I can't see anything, but I don't know. These guys, the Middlesbrough crew, Dave and his whole family and all these guys are working on this thing. I mean, they've been busting their butts trying to get this team put together, and you know, it happened pretty quick. We didn't have much time, and but we're still working at it.
I was going to say, it must feel really good to be back racing in Pennsylvania.
Well, it does. You know, I've been away for a lot of years, but always enjoy coming back, and you know, especially all these hometown tracks. You know, and boy, I love running in Lincoln, but boy, I just hit too much stuff here. You know.
After Lincoln, everyone's over to Silver Spring for the opener under the lights. Dave Ord and Bill Benner are involved in qualifying spills with 56 super sportsmen on the gas. Frankie Herr in the Highlands Tire number 3 leads Bob Fantasy in the Pepsi number 1. Favorite Howie Locke makes a right turn. On the 19th lap, Fantasy from Dauphin puts the John Stamen-owned racer in front for keeps. Her second, with Pat Cannon third.
I'd like to dedicate this race to Rick Wolfling, who got injured in an accident the other week. I wish he could be here. He's a great friend. Him and Jackie, they're great people. I'd like to thank my car owner, new car owner this year, John Stamen. Gives us the best of everything, and my crew, they did a hell of a job because we never got the engine fired off till about 3 o'clock this afternoon, so it's been a rough couple of weeks.
March 27th, 27 sprinters are at the Port Royal opener. Early leader Jeff Shepard, number 4, gives up first to 8th place starter Kevin Gobrecht, number 11. It'll be Kevin's first Port Royal win, and it's worth $3,000. Greg Hodnett will finish second with a slipping Shepard hanging on for third. After the Port, it's down the road to Lincoln. Dave Haight, driver of the Niederer Sanitation number 10, is among the 29-car field. Dave's lap traffic adventure landed him atop the Wagaman Thunder car. Craig credited the improved aerodynamics of his stock car for his feature win later that night. The Red Racer of Fred Raymer started 9th and takes first from the 17 of Chris Aish on the 4th lap. But here comes the familiar silver Zemco number 1 of Kevin Gobrecht, who started 10th. Kevin takes first from Freddie on lap 16. Two laps to go. Fast Freddie retakes the lead, but it's not over as the pair of hard chargers race through Lincoln lap traffic. Kevin is called the G-Man, but you might drop the G.
You went at Port Royal this afternoon. What all did you have to change for tonight?
To tell you the truth, we just pulled another set of tires on and re-blocked the car, but went to our same deal about what I had up there. It's kind of funny. A slick day race up there, and I used about the same setup down here. 1 or 2 shocks different. Besides that, it was pretty close.
35 358s are also part of the show tonight at Lincoln. Jonathan Baker in the wall. Rookie youngster Danny Warwick is just a little shook. A feature 4-car race for the lead. Chris H in yellow on the low side makes it stick to come out in front of Gary Gullop, number 51, Jake Rodabaugh, and Terry Leininger. Greg Libby, number 77, who started 7th, picks up his second opening day win this year by passing Ace on the 10th lap. The finish would be Libby over Leininger and Ace.
I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm so happy. These guys work so hard. Everybody sticks together. Our families and wives support us. I love the fans. I wish I saw them more. And, man, I could dance on the wing right now.
March 28th, the Williams Grove feature green. They sort out with Greg Hodnett leading over Keith Kaufman and Johnny Mackison. Len Thompson jumps the cushion. Mike Wagner in the rail.
Green is out.
More problems near the front.
Can't pull it off. The 7's in trouble.
Now Johnny Mackison is over and out. Leader Hodnett will face challenges first from Chris Ace and then 11th place starter Kevin Gobrecht on the last lap.
Green flag waves. Chris Ace tries the low side. Chris Ace coming on out of 4. He takes the lead. Hodnett wants it back in number 1. Greg Hodnett slides back in front of Chris Ace with the lead. Kevin Gobrecht all over the leader. Gobrecht to the low side. Slides up in front of the leader. Can't make it stick. On the backstretch, Hodnett's got the lead. As they charge into 3. Here comes Gobrecht again. Kevin Gobrecht off first, taking the lead. Checkered flag is off for the G-Man. Kevin Gobrecht.
The third straight win for Kevin this weekend is worth $3,000 and has really shook up the other top teams. He ain't done yet. A giant field of 42 358 sprints make for a full show at the Grove today. Tracy Templin has minor problems. Watch this 3-car battle for first. Bob Beitelman, 81, Greg Libby, and Chris Ace.
He better make it soon because Chris Ace is putting a move on him. Chris Ace right behind Libby now, racing for the runner-up spot. Chris Ace tries the low side. Ace slides up in front of Beitelman and Libby. 3 abreast on the backstretch. Chris Ace takes the lead.
As Ace finally takes the checkered over Terry Leininger and Libby, we're stacking them up on turn 3.
Chris, did it help some having 25 laps on the track before this race started?
Well, yeah, you know, it helped a lot. You know, being out there racing and knowing where the groove was. I was kind of poking around the bottom a little bit, and I kind of seen that I went to the top there and gained some ground, so just started firing around the top. You know, this car was working real good today, and you know, the motor was running real good, and these guys do a heck of a job.
April 3rd, James Chesson is ready for the $10,000 to win Early Bird Championship. 34 sprinters are in the pits. Unfortunately, the talented youngster wound up flying like a bird before he even got to the flag stand.
And we've got trouble on the front stretch.
Here's another mix of the heat race spill, which left James uninjured.
77, and we've got trouble on the front stretch.
Rick Kaler doing the consi. The 30-lap feature takes the green. Lap 8, 6th place starter Greg Hodnett, number 12, takes the lead position from Chris Ace. Kenny Adams moved past Ace, left Chris with a lighter car. 10th place starter Kevin Gobrecht moves into 3rd. But a yellow flag for the bumper negated passes by both Adams and Gobrecht. Coming around for 2 to go, the G-Man takes 2nd from Ace, with Adams now 4th. Kevin continues his newfound magic, taking 1st from luckless Hodnett, who was out of fuel. The finish was Gobrecht over Adams and Aish as Hudnet wound up 15th.
$10,000 tonight. 4 in a row. You're on a 4-race winning streak. How does it feel to be the leading sprint car feature winner in America?
It feels pretty good, but we all know tomorrow's another day. You know, I won last Saturday, and then we came in here, and I thought, well, you know, we're here just I wasn't supposed to race and didn't know what was going to go on. We ended up winning that. Tonight, you know, I've been up since 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon with stomach problems and real sick, and I didn't come in here with any high ambitions. We were just going to race because it's a big race and just put everything, you know, forth. And luckily it came out for us again. You know, so it's just great to be able to keep doing this.
April 4th, back home again at Silver Spring. 57 super sportsmen warm up. Qualifying is always a win in itself at the country's only perfect short track operation. Rookie Randy Kissinger is a graduate from the street stocks. Veteran Lanny Hake gets turned over in this third turn pileup. John Stamen in the red number 23 works the feature lead from Ron Janney. 9th place starter Mark Smith, number 22, is the man on the move here into second. But Stamen makes the Traco excavating car wide for the win over Smith and Rich Eichelberger.
Yeah, I talked to you a couple years ago in Victory Lane over at Penn National when you got your first crew in. How does it feel to get one here at Silver Spring?
Long time coming, man. I tell you, without it said in the paper this week that I was Bob Fantasy Savior, that was bullshit. I'll tell you who the savior is Jim Buffington and Bob Fantasy. Without them, none of this is even possible. And you can't believe how thankful I am to those two guys. You could have had an idiot drive this car tonight and go around here. All I did is turn left and put the floor to the metal.
April 5th, it's always a pleasure to catch a show at Big Diamond, located in coal mining country near Minersville. The luck of the draw started favorites Keith Hoffman, number 6, and Craig Von Doren on the front. And that's just where they're going to stay. But it's not from a lack of trying by the rest of the field. You can't beat a good modified show. And the Big D offers one every summer Friday night. A respectable Easter Sunday crowd braves constant drizzle for today's afternoon opener. Let's try that again. Again? $35-year-old Hoffman of Whitehall picks up $1,800 for his win in the 25-lap NASCAR-sanctioned event. 35 of the open wheel stock cars grace the Big Diamond pits. April 10th. The Keystone Auto Racing's on speedways, that's cars for short. 358 cubic inch sprint car touring series opens tonight, 38 strong on the fast half mile at Port Royal. Rookie Dan Schaeffer suffers cosmetic damage only. Rick Horn down low leads the feature, but Mark Richard, number 50, in the high groove is gaining. Doug Esch is having sort of a bad year. Landisburg's Richard, who started 10th, takes first on lap 10 for his 9th career Cars win, folding wing and all.
Yeah, the weird part about it, I felt the thing going. I thought, oh, great, here we go again. You know, something breaks. But at that point, I knew the only thing I could do is get on the wet stuff and stay there, don't get off of it, because I couldn't use the wing to turn me. You know, the car itself had to stick. So once I got up there, then I was okay as long as I didn't encounter too many lap cars.
Well, I'll tell you what, this thing came out of nowhere with about 7 laps to go.
Now, the weird part about it is real tight in the beginning, and then fuel load got out and it started getting better. But I kept searching around. I couldn't find that groove that I wanted to run, and finally I said, look, get against the fence, stay there, don't get off. You finished 12th, so what? We won, so it worked out.
Len Thompson leads the 21-car field of 410 Port Royal regulars. Just 2 laps to go, But here comes the Walt Dyer 461 of Monalto's Lance DeWeese. Lance drops Lynn to second among lap traffic, and then Thompson goes from second all the way to the back after spinning in turn 1. Lynn would come back for a 6th place finish. It's DeWeese's first one of the season and his 59th career Port Royal win.
They tell me I think it's been like 50 races since I've last won, so it's been a long drought for us. Last week we were real good here. We just didn't get through traffic quick enough to get around Keys, but hopefully this is the start of a lot of things.
Tell you what, young Lynn Thompson, he had you running your butt off out there tonight.
Well, me and Todd talked about it last week. When he starts off the front row like that in the track, you can run around the top. Yeah, he's awful tough, and he got bobbled up there behind a couple lap cars and gave me a shot out. And I don't know what happened to him there, why he stopped, but he was running a heck of a good race in the open. I don't know if I could have handled him.
Also on April 10th, Shane Smith parks on Lincoln's infamous East End wall. The restart. Chris Ace in the ENG Classics number 17 takes the lead away from the 29 of rookie Jimmy McBee. Here comes the G-Man. No Lincoln feature is complete without slide jobs for the lead. Gobrecht slips up on the 14th lap, and Ace becomes the 5th different winner here in 7 races. Fred Raymer 2nd, Steve Siegel 3rd, but our winner has an issue.
Well, you know, my motor was missing pretty much the whole race. Luckily, it was pretty slick, and it didn't really come into play too much. You know, these scores up here are really making me work for this thing. You know, I lap cars, and they just take them right out of there and put them in the back, and you know, I had to win this race 5 times over tonight.
I'll tell you something, there has been some mighty fast cars here. It seems like the competition gets tougher every year.
Well, yeah. You know, I think it's tougher here this year than it is at Williams Grove. You know, Gobrecht really he's on his game, and you know, Fred's going real good. Steve Siegel, you know, he hangs right in there every week. He's due for one pretty soon. It was just our turn tonight. Hopefully, we can build off of this deal tonight. You know, for coming into the next couple of races. You know, we've been a little off, and I've had a lot of bad luck, and I might have been driving with my head up my butt a little bit, but you know, I think we got things straightened out now.
On the other side of Pickletown, 60 super sportsmen have been narrowed down to 24 qualifiers at Silver Spring. Ken Carberry from Levittown makes a late race charge from his 10th place starting spot, driving his green number 47 past leader Glenn Keller. It's the owner-driver's 2nd career win at the Spring. April 16th, Williams Grove. Will Kramer is among the 29 entrants in 410 competition tonight. Will's red number 8 was exchanging slide jobs with Lynn Thompson when the pair made contact on the backstretch. Although getting the worst of the deal, Kramer is okay. On a 4th lap restart, Mike Wagner, 55, takes first position from the 10 of Dave Haight.
Green is out. Mike Wagner puts a move on Haight and steals the lead. Wagner takes the lead at the start. Haight just racing on a bright spot.
There's Kevin Gobrecht, number 11, zooming from 4th to 2nd in one move.
Gobrecht makes a move and goes by Haight and Gracie. Gobrecht all over the leader. Here he comes. The G-Man in a turn number 3 with the lead.
The G-Man has come from 15th starting spot to the lead in just 7 laps. It's Kevin's 7th win of the young season and 8th Grove career.
Kevin, what was it like steering this car with no front wing?
It was great without it. Is when it was half on and half off. I couldn't keep it straight down the straightaway. It was tilting there and kept pulling me to the inside of the track. It's kind of okay in the front stretch. Had a little bit of moisture down here, and I could just, half throttle it down the straightaways to keep it straight. But the back stretch just was too slick, and going into 3 was slick all over, and it just really hurt me at that part of the track. But when it blew off, luckily we had that yellow, and I didn't get caught to the back, and without that wing, it was actually a lot better when it was half off, but nothing compared to when it was on beginning, because it was just an awesome car.
The 358 sprints get off to a wild start at the drop of the green for the first heat. Eric Miller suffers several flips. Well, at least you made TV, Peanut.
Yeah, you're going to be on TV.
Here's another look at the crash, which also flipped Doug Esch. Doug will be back. Lyndon Mathias will not qualify. He's not alone, with 43 358s in the pits. The feature green. Doug Esch is in trouble on the start again, bumping the outside rail and limping back across the front stretch. Joe Whitcomb is the only racer to make contact, and both Doug and Joe are out for the night. It took Chris Ace, number 30, just 4 laps to come from 10th starting spot, running down leader Todd Reed for his second win in a row here. New for 1999 is Borgers Speedway. World-famous track chaser Guy Smith scores track number 628. Read his critiques in area auto racing news. It's April 17th. Borgers is a paperclip-shaped 1/7 mile located north of the Allentown-Bethlehem metropolis. The micro sprints are the main attraction here with a field of just 11. It's a nice track, and we look for the car count to grow as soon as more people find out about the new operation and when they learn to move the show along. Right, Guy? Terry Schaeffer from Temple, PA, in the white number 2 has the field covered for the second Saturday afternoon in a row here. After Borgers, it's south across most of the state to Lincoln. Billy Dietrich is among the 39 sprinters pit side as Port Royal has rained out. The second generation racer is okay. Doug Rohrbaugh also crushes up a wing.
Flag will come out. Chesson just throws 2 and 4. Read it down.
Feature time. Chris Ace is to the front.
Chris Ace wastes no time getting it.
The 18th lap. Here comes, need we say it? That's racing. With Ace and Gobrecht restarting in the rear, it's Fred Raymer's 3rd Lincoln win of the season in the Al Hamilton 77. Meanwhile, over at Silver Spring, 59 super sportsmen are in the pits with J.R. Fry in the W100 radio number 42, taking the lead from Lanny Hake on the 10th of the 25-lap feature. It's J.R.'s 3rd career win here in the super tough super sportsman. April 24th, the United Racing Club Sprint Series opens with a bang 37 cars strong at the giant Bridgeport, New Jersey Speedway. Wayne Patterson and company are okay. Veteran Kramer Williamson in the Tasty Cake number 2, who began his career in the Silver Spring Super Sportsman 30 years ago, brushes off both Greg Coverdale and Dave McGuff in this winning move on his way to his 57th win under the URC banner. Over in PA, Chris Ace is still in need of a good Thunder car ride. Chris will have to settle for just 2 wins tonight as he slips under Brooke Wibley to take the lead and win in the 410 sprints. And then will hustle the lead from the sparking number 77 of Greg Libby in the 358s. Chris beat a total of 71 sprinters at Lincoln tonight. April 24th, Rick Kaler is a regular among 21 sprinters at Port Royal. Ed Fischel tries the high groove with poor results. Kaler's number 13 leads over Keith Kaufman. Fischel tries the low groove with even worse results. The decision to move the pits outside has proved to be a wise one. Rick Kaler still leads as a charging Todd Schaeffer moves past Len Thompson into third. Some of Todd's port crashes are legendary. After landing on a parked car, Todd crawled from considerable wreckage, asking, "Are they going to make me buy another pit pass to get back in?" During the lap 13 red, leader Kaler pulled into the pits, handing the lead over to Keith Kaufman, who was safely inside of spinning Vaughn McGee. The Mifflintown native picks up his 96th Port Royal win over Lance DeWeese and Len Thompson.
Well, Keith, that's probably one of the longest races you ever run.
Yeah, it's pretty long one. I didn't know what happened down there.
I'll tell you what, you had a lot of racing behind you, and guess you missed the episode down at turn 1.
Yeah, I didn't see it. On the one restart, Todd did a flyer on me, got by me, got back around him, but then he said he went through the fence, so I didn't know what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, Keith, it seemed like the more this race went on, the faster you got.
Well, we changed the car a little bit up there, changed the spacer, changed the shock. It got a little bit better, Yeah, I got the wing back in that thing a little bit, and it got better.
Well, I'll tell you what, it seems like when you're running up front, your teammate runs a lot better also. A first and a fourth tonight.
Well, that's pretty good. He's got good equipment, good cars, and, he's learned. He's doing a real good job. All those guys, they deserve a lot of credit because, boy, they got 2 cars to fix every week instead of just one, so it takes a lot of work.
The ARDC Midgets brought a full field as a popular addition to the show tonight at Port Royal. Craig Rochelle, Dave Udd, and Lou Blair are all okay after this triple right in front of the crowd. New Oxford's Ray Bull, number 1, bangs wheels at high speed with Mark Freeland on the last lap to squeak out the thrilling win. Ray's just back from his honeymoon, and if he gave his new bride any gray hairs on that final turn, we don't see them. April 25th, the fastest 24 of the 26 sprinters on hand at Selinsgrove cut loose under dusty conditions. With Billy Pouch retiring from sprinters and Kevin Gobrecht racing with the Outlaws, Jeff Shepard wires the field after drawing the pole as the new driver of the powerful Zemco car.
Gobrecht and Pouch, of course, got out of the ride, and what an opportunity that opened up for you.
Yeah, that's true. Les Stewart, my car owner, called John Zemaitis, and they kind of put something together. I was supposed to run the car Friday and didn't get a chance to, and then it rained out. Then we ran my car last night because of sponsors and stuff, and just fortunate enough to run the beautiful weather, all the fans, and everybody come out to see us win, so that was a good deal.
Hey, you started on the pole tonight, but there at the end of the race, I don't know if you knew it, but Greg Hodnett was right behind you there on those last 2 restarts.
Yeah, I don't know how it was sitting up there, but I couldn't see a thing. When we got into those 4 and 5 cars wide in the dust there, when they threw that yellow out, I seen him sneak underneath me, and I knew he was there, but there was hardly much I could do. It was, I couldn't see past the flag stand. I couldn't even see the flagman if there was a yellow or a red or whatever. If they could get a little bit of water on the dust, I think it'd be a lot better for the fans and the drivers.
Bob Gutschall will have the most eventful night as the Super Sportsmen are 33 strong at Selinsgrove. After a year under very capable management, the big half mile is obviously a bear of a track to get a handle on. We have newfound respect for the previous promotionship under Ted Reitz. Bob Gutschall was leading when both he crashed and the feature was stopped because of dust on the 15th lap. After some discussion, Bob's fellow drivers voted him to win, which will help him repair his demolished number 65. April 30th, Williams Grove. Qualifying means heat races here with 33 sprinters pit side. James Chesson stacks up Dave Haight and Keith Kaufman. Jimmy Burns runs into Dan Long. Far Hills, New Jersey's P.J. Chesson takes the feature lead from Johnny Mackison on the 7th lap. P.J. gives us a great interview.
Not even a year in 410s, and you won at Williams Grove. How's it feel?
Unbelievable. I can't tell you. This is the greatest thing in the world right now. This is greater than anything else in the world. You people are great. My team, my crew, Tommy, Carl, Big Jim, Donat, my dad. Without my father, none of this would happen. We have Sammy, Tommy, my brother, everyone. We got the best crew. Chuck, everyone in the world. Everyone helps us out. It's the greatest thing. I'm so happy. I don't even know what to say. I'm lost for words here. I figured, you know, maybe I'd screw up or something. One of the more experienced guys would get me, but it didn't happen. So I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I can't believe it. It's just great. The car was great. Everything worked out fine. And here I am in Victory Lane, greatest track in the world.
The 358 scenes begin with a spin by Eric Stambaugh. 45 of the smaller block cars really have to work hard to qualify. Bob Beitelman will not after being guided into the rail. Bill Fantasy is another DNQ. Mannheim's Mike Lehman finally gets the monkey off his back, along with Chris H., for his first win of the season in the Courtesy Motors number 59. Mike thus becomes the 358 leading feature winner here with a career total of 13.
Mike, where'd you get to?
I stopped back and told my grandpa this was for him.
Well, that's nice because this is a special one. As we said, nobody has ever won 13 features here at Williams Grove before in limited competition. You got it done tonight. Another good race with Chris H.
Yeah, I was racing with Chris there, and he was, well, I don't know, it was pretty close. I think he might have been a little fast for me, you know, and I felt him tap me there in the back end. But, man, I got to thank Bill. He worked hard this week, and Johnny, man, his guys were down there. I got to thank my dad. He's like, what do you want to do? I said, man, just do whatever you want. And it worked out. I just got to thank Courtesy Motors. They came aboard and helped us out this year. And Alan Tucker. I'm just, like, excited.
Rookie and street stock graduate Randy Kissinger will have an eventful May Day here at Silver Spring. The sportsmen here at the Spring offer the fans the biggest weekly car count of anything anywhere on the circuit. 56 tonight. Matt Ondeck dumps his new Ford-powered ride in turn 2. Steve Wober enjoys similar quality time in turn 3. Randy Kissinger makes his first of 3 appearances while crunching Steve's wing. Randy will be okay after catching a tire during the consi. After a quick funeral service for Poison Ivy Cam, the feature is green. Impressive rookie Bob Hockenberry leads over hard charger Tom Haxall, number 55. Haxall moves past the number 69 on the 12th lap. That's Howie Locke, who started 9th, into 3rd. With precise driving, Howie's into 2nd. Howie's Dellinger's auto body number 12 draws alongside the leader with less than 2 laps to go. It's Howie's 35th career Silver Spring win. Haxall 2nd, Ken Carberry 3rd. You know Howie's a super sportsman racer when he considers 9th starting place close to the front.
Hey, that's a heck of a cheer up there. You finally got it turned around tonight, Howie.
Yeah, we did. I'll tell you what, I got to thank the crew because, man, I've been bringing her home in a wad about every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks here. Just one of those deals. I ain't crying. So, you know, we got a good crew and a bunch of guys that really work hard. And we needed this one bad tonight. We really did. We started too close to the front to not get this.
The trophy girl's not only tall, don't mess with her. She doubles as a security guard. Sorry, the high heels is all that came off. May 2nd, Mark Sechrist slips in the marbles as 20 sprinters take part in Sunday night's Selinsgrove competition. Mark finds his way out without injury. The feature gets off to a pair of wild starts. First, when Mike Erdley crosses up in front of Joey Boric. With heavy traffic, this could have been worse.
Trouble down in turn number 1.
The second start is worse when Todd Schaeffer is launched by a bobbling Kenny Adams. The catch fence was credited with keeping the Beam 88 off Route 35.
Todd Schaeffer. Whoa, trouble over in turn number 2.
It's 3 wins straight here at Selinsgrove for the Zemco number 1. Jeff Shepard moves past the number 2 of Lenny Krautheim on the 9th lap to take the lead, which he stretched to half a straightaway at the finish. Kenny Adams moved up to 2nd, with Keith Kaufman 3rd. A pair of prodigal cameras head west this weekend to catch some USAC real sprint car action beginning at Attica, Ohio on April 30th. Jeff and Audrey did not want to come home. Matt Jewell flips down the front. Todd Kane over turn 1. Casey Kane, no relation, during the feature. Tony Elliott also has a bad night. In his own competition welding car, Bill Rose from Plainfield, Indiana, led from lap 14 to pick up the $4,000 win in the 30-lap feature. Eric Gordon was 2nd, with Byron Reed 3rd. The next night, Derek Davidson leads Tracy Hines on the world's fastest and most famous dirt at Eldora. On her first taping expedition, who can blame Audrey for bailing out when Kevin Thomas's racer refused to still itself? 40 racers are in the pits. Brian Tyler's flip collects Dave Darling. It's $5,000 for Derek Davidson, a 27-year-old Charger from Lafayette, Indiana. Tracy Hines finished 2nd with our own Steve Cerniak taking the final podium position. Back to PA, where beautiful, sleek racers are hidden by sheet metal. But we've seen wings save drivers, who often are husbands and fathers, not to mention our friends. One example may be this, as we take another look at the Greg Hodnett-Dean Jacobs spill, which opened the All-Star feature at Grandview on May 5th. 31 winged warriors are in the pits. P.J. Chesson leads the first 6 laps until spinning in the 3rd turn. P.J. blamed the loss of control on backing off upon encountering the first lap traffic. Fred Raymer inherited the win in a car badly bent after he hit the wall before practice even started. Fast Freddie had started 9th. A fast-closing Jeff Shepard came from the rear to finish 2nd, with Keith Kaufman 3rd. May 7th, the All-Star year-long saga comes to Williams Grove. A season-high 49 sprinters pack the pits. The feature green, and the wings are vapor trailing as Donnie Kreitz contacts Paul McMahon. Great heads-up driving by the mid-packers kept this from being worse.
Green is out.
The feature restarts with Lance DeWeese, 461, leading over Greg Hodnett, 12, and James Chesson, 22.
Lance takes the lead. Hodnett 2nd, P.J. 3rd.
A lap later, Dean Jacobs drifts up into P.J. Chesson, and both stuff the rail. Other cars pile in, but there's no injuries, although P.J. was shaken.
Raymer tries the outside of DeWeese. Side by side on the backstretch. Lance pulls away momentarily. Here comes Raymer back in turn number 3. Raymer stuck behind the lap car. Hodnett moves in on him. Again, Fred tries to drive through the middle. Again, Lance holds him up.
Fred Raymer, 77, who started 6th after setting fast time, works the lead from DeWeese on the 12th lap. Fred goes on to the $5,000 win. It's Al Hamilton's 300th trip to victory lane as a sprint car owner. James Chesson moved past DeWeese on the final lap for 2nd. May 8th, the All-Star entourage is at Lincoln. Brian Carlson, doing a slow rollover, is among 47 sprinters.
The 18 car of Brian.
Jonathan Stevens' 2nd trip to Lincoln results in his 2nd flip here. A rare moment in PA as an All-Star leads the feature. But Joey Saldana, number 17, gives it up to part-time All-Star Jeff Shepard, number 1, on the 5th lap. Lap 18. Fast Freddie Raymer is always the man to hold off at Lincoln. Shepard second, Saldana third.
I'll tell you, man, that car, this week we made some changes last Saturday. That sumbitch is operating now.
There is no question. I didn't think there was a chance you were going to catch Jeff that fast. I mean, maybe over the course of the race, but in the span of about 3 or 4 laps, you really closed in.
Well, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I'd rather pass him than any other car in Pennsylvania, so that's a little incentive.
I tell you what, the All-Stars bring in some great cars. There's a lot of great young drivers that are part of this series, and they are tough. There's no question about it.
Yeah, you know, we got home field advantage. Them guys don't race. I guarantee you this, if we tow out and race with them, they'd spank us.
Fred, these All-Star shows, I know you get up for them. There's another one coming up on August the 28th, and you know they're always loaded for bear.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they're a great group of guys to run with. They pay a great purse, and they draw a great crowd because there's another Outlaws and all that, and this is still, I think, better racing.
And speaking of better racing, over at Silver Spring, over 50 super sportsmen will be joined by 36 cars sprinters for a big doubleheader. Ray Myers, number 51, led the feature for 12 laps until bobbling in turn 4. Joe Reniker, number 25, takes advantage to lead, with Matt Ondeck, number 2, moving into second. The battle up front heats up as Pat Cannon, 93, slips past Ondeck. Reniker still leads, but Mark Smith, 22, and Rich Eichelberger, 8, make it a 4-way tussle. The final lap, they're almost 3 wide for the lead momentarily off turn 2. The finish. It's Reniker over Cannon, Smith, and Eichelberger after Cannon and Eich do some grinding. Joe drives the Russ's Auto Sales Daimler's Hunting Special.
Got a little bit of a break there. Ray Myers was off and racing. He had stretched his lead quite a bit there, and then he bobbled down here in turn number 4. That was when you were to take the lead, and from there, boy, it was an exciting one.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. He did take off there. I went to the top. I tried the bottom. It was a little too loose, and Rick said just stay at the top if it was too loose. And so I went up, but he started stretching it. But then I started gaining at the end. I started catching up with him, and then he bobbled, which made it easy for me. It's bad for him, but I'll take it.
Not all the good drivers steer a 410. With 90 open cockpit machines at the spring, there's only one minor rollover all night. It's Roger Grube on the first lap of the car's 358 sprint car feature. New Cumberland's Tom Leach is back in his father's number 30 tonight and picks up his second career Silver Spring win after taking first from the number 4 of Jake Rodaball.
What were you thinking when the caution came out with just 1 lap to go? Were you concerned about what they might do behind you?
Nah, I was a little concerned, but I wasn't real concerned because the car was driving off so well. I figured I could just pull him down the straightaway. So I just gave it my best shot.
May 14th, the sprinters 34 strong will have a rough night at Williams Grove. Rookie Dan Long in his first rollover was the only problem during qualifying. The first attempt to start the feature, and Lance DeWeese is over after contact with Greg Hudnett. The next attempt tosses Todd Gracie. Todd suffered a broken vertebrae and will be out of racing for some time. The head-on shot shows Todd bouncing off the rail before getting over a tire. Still another bad start as Keith Kaufman rolls over in the same spot as Gracie. After pace setter Sean Keane dropped out and with just about everyone in front of him crashed or sent to the rear, Fred Raymer enjoys an early lead. DeWeese repaired his car during the red for Gracie, but could only muster a 15th place finish.
Chris Aish puts a move on Dave Ely. Can he make it stick?
The restart. Chris Aish has all he can handle in working second from the 77 of much improved Dave Ely.
Chris Aish into second now. Ely wants it back. Here comes Dave. Dave Ely back to second. Straws back by Ely off four. Chris Aish back to second. Danny Jones in fourth.
Chris Knopp flips on lap 13. Our final red is on the restart as James Chesson's throttle sticks. James suffered vision problems, which would keep him off the track for several weeks. Raymer, who started 12th, holds off a restart challenge by Chris Aish, 17, for his 5th consecutive win on the circuit.
Hardnett drives under Dave Haight. He's up to 5th. Slingshots off the corner.
A couple of bad ones tonight. Fred, what do you think it was? I mean, you're a guy that always tells it like it is. This was just a crazy night here. In your opinion, what do you think was causing all this?
I'll tell you the truth. I mean, the track's okay. It had a little bit of dust on the bottom, but I couldn't see nothing. I think it was just, you know, I don't know if it's a full moon or nothing. You know what? Just the natives are restless. I mean, it was just a bad deal. I just hope everybody's okay.
The American Racing Drivers Club rounds out the show tonight at the Grove with a clean program starring 25 of the mighty midgets. Oh, those pesky PA sprint car drivers when they accept rides in other classes. Lance DeWeese started 14th in the number 42, and here he is on just lap 8, taking first from the yellow 25 of Dwayne Mosteller.
Now looks to the low side, turn number 3. Lance DeWeese running it real low, and Dwayne Mosteller gets the lead. Lance DeWeese in front as they come down the main stretch.
I'll tell you what, this is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that. Me and that guy that was leading it, I don't even know who any of these guys are. We got together a little bit going in 3 when I was trying to pass him. He stayed on the throttle a little longer than what I thought he would, so I hope we didn't hurt him there too much. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Our 410 racing tonight been pretty hectic, so I'm just glad to be winning something tonight.
May 15th, 27 410 sprinters are at Lincoln. Third place starter Jeff Rohrball, 07, takes first from pole sitter Billy Bryan on the 3rd lap. Lap 13, 8th place starter Donnie Kreitz, number 69, takes the lead from Rohrball. Lap 17, 12th place starter Fred Raymer, 77, moves around Kreitz for his 3rd straight Lincoln win. It's Fast Freddy's 80th career at Lincoln, his 9th of the year, and 6th straight on the circuit. Kreitz 2nd, Danny Jones 3rd. 37 358 sprinters will have a rough night. Todd Reed, Chad Wolf, and micro-graduate Colby Womer in particular. Todd Reed lost his steering during a heat race. Colby Womer gets over Chad Wolf, and both tumble, with Colby flipping over 5.5 times.
On the backstretch, red flag is out. Second, and Mark Richards got the deal Toyota 50, and problems on the backstretch. Red flag is out.
Fellow drivers Doug Ash and Troy Weitzel saw it was bad and assisted the day's driver. Colby tried to shake it off, but later took a trip to the hospital, from which he would be treated and released. Feature time. Mark Richard, number 50, leads. Helgash meets Chad Layton and loses ground before being straightened by Chris Ace, number 30. Chris advances to second and is challenging leader Richard.
Mark Richard trying to hold off Chris Ace for the race lead.
Lap 15. The pressure is too much for Mark. Blake Raymer before him, Ace number 30, started 12th as the Lincoln fans saw winning sprint cars advance a total of 24 spots tonight. Bob Vitelman second, Greg Libby third.
These guys had this car working really good tonight, stuck real hard on the bottom, driving off the corner real well. You know, things couldn't have really worked out much better. It's kind of a shame for Mark Richards. He kind of got in there over his head a little bit too high up on the cushion and lost it, but I would like to race him a little more.
Across town, 53 super sportsmen are at Silver Spring. Rookie Scott Snyder in the Johnson Construction Valley Welding number 17 is stunning the crowd by leading every lap from the outside pole. The final lap finds Pat Cannon, number 93, who started 12th, and Rich Eichelberger both on Scott's tail in lap traffic. But Scott's first feature win is timed at just under 8 minutes on the 3/8 mile. May 16th, Selinsgrove. Rookie sprint car driver Dan Long will have a rough learning experience tonight. Here, Will Kramer runs over Dan before hooking bumpers with Bob Bennett. Later during qualifying, Dan slides into the rail in turn 4. It's one of the more devastating crashes of the year, but Dan Long is okay and will soon be back on the track. The reason for much of the damage is the way the number 99 caught the upright in between the railings. Feature time. Keith Kaufman and Mike Walters discuss lineup procedures.
Leading the pack as they come off turn number 4.
Joey Borich in the brown 88 leads as Todd Schaefer in the white number 88 moves past Mike Erdley, number 117, into second on the 13th lap. Lap 16. Todd from Millersburg completes his winning charge from 9th in the Beam-owned Village Plaza Turnball Oil Racer by passing Borich in front of the grandstand. Todd's the defending point champ here at Selinsgrove.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, at the beginning I was a little tight racing there, and I was a little better in 3 and 4, and the dust on the backstretch is the only bad thing, really. I mean, the track is beautiful as far as smooth. They get that clayed and get a little wetter. I mean, it made for a good race. I guess that was Borich, and the 117 took off there, and they had me concerned, but once we got a little fuel load out and I got where I can run at the end there, I could run flat out right through the slick. And I want to thank Matt, my main mechanic. He just keeps twisting on them. And this is a new car, Friday night at the Grove, and we had them built a little different. And we won last night, and I couldn't see, but they said we were pretty convincing tonight, and my car was good. Like I said, I could run flat out at the end.
Johnny Bridges wheelies in 410 action at Williams Grove on May 21st. Rick Lafferty and the classic off-the-rail 1 3/4. 32 big blocks are on hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway. Green is out.
Mark Smith in the number 22 is getting serious about 410 racing, leading as the feature is greened. Fred Raymer is out after tangling with Danny Jones.
Green falls at the cone.
Ex-Outlaw and 9th place starter Greg Hodnett knows how to restart.
Greg Hodnett with a tremendous move to steal the lead. Hodnett has taken the lead.
But a Chris Knopfspill in turn 3 cancels that one and sets up a second lap 10 restart.
Green is out. Lance to the lead. into second now. Lance goes high. Gray goes low. Hodnett takes the lead. Lance wants it back. Hodnett has taken the lead. Lance trying to reel him in. Lap traffic in front of the leader, but it shouldn't matter. Hodnett jumps the cushion off too. Hodnett's got a problem. Lance has caught the leader. Hodnett takes the low side in 3. He's going to win it. Greg Hodnett in the 12 will win it. Dewey second.
Well, it looked like it was really running tonight. How about that move? We said it was the move of the year on that early restart. Of course, you knew it was coming back. You went from 4th to the lead, running the bottom through 3 and 4. Could you believe you made it?
No, nah, not really. I mean, them guys kind of stopped going in the corner, like they all kind of were indecisive. And I had a big run going, and I just let her rip. And unfortunately, I mean, I don't think I jumped or anything. It just the guys crashed or whatever. That's about the way our season's been going, actually. I mean, we've had some good starts, and they've called them back, and hadn't gotten breaks the next time. But the guys did a great job, and we're just thankful. We got to thank God for allowing us to be here. And I tell you what, we are just very fortunate to be here, especially with my smooth move down to 1 and 2.
Tell us about that on the last lap. What happened? As we said, you've been so close here so many times this year. What happened on the last lap in the second corner?
Well, I was just kind of cruising there around, and I thought I could hear somebody pretty close, so I ripped her in there pretty hard, and it banged down. I let it bang down a little too hard, and it just kind of forward drifted over the cushion, and it packed the rim and everything, and I couldn't get it back. And I just kept bouncing around up there until finally come off the corner. I seen somebody's nose under there, so I was going to enter as low as I could over here and make sure they didn't have a lane to slot me like Kevin did back in April. So I learned my lesson that day, so I just kind of messed up.
Billy Lockman will set a record tonight at the Grove during 3:58 competition.
All over Lockman. Watch the veteran Dietrich go to the top. Dan Dietrich catches the cushion, bobbles a little bit, but he's still coming. Lockman and Dietrich race for the lead, 3 and 4. Chris Age coming on the bottom.
Here, Billy's white deuce holds off the number 8 of Dan Dietrich while leading the feature for 3 laps, until the number 30 of Chris Ace slips past both on the inside.
Races with Lockman on the backstretch. We've got a new leader. It is Chris Ace.
A couple laps later, Lockman tumbles 8 times down the back chute after tangling with Eric Stamball, who also gets on his head. Bill walked away with some guidance. A bad case of red eye and a lot of missing parts vanished Billy from the cockpit for several weeks. Chris Ace was followed by Doug Esch and Dan Dietrich. May 22nd, Silver Spring. That Mark Kinzer kid's not the only one to have a fast Mopar. Ageless Smokey Snowbaker, driving the Mike Callahan number 340, wires the field. The 61-year-old veteran keeps his annual win streak intact with his 19th win at the Spring. Smokey was followed across the line by George Group and Russ Mitten in a very popular victory with the ladies. Over at Lincoln, 36 limited sprints fight to qualify. Eric Stamball and Judd Shepard will not. Brian Buckwalter spares us a yellow. The battle for the feature lead. Mike Lehman and the Courtesy Motors number 59 and Terry Leininger, number 88, go at it. Mike holds on for the win. Chris Ace settled for 3rd.
Little bit of bad luck you've had here at Lincoln, and it looks like you turned things around. That was quite a race. You even tapped wheels a time or 2.
Yeah, me and Terry. I know, he probably tried it, so I can't get mad at him. It'd be worse if he didn't try it. He was driving over his head, but no. I like Terry. He's all right.
410 Thrills begins with a spill by Big Block Weaver. Early in the feature, Danny Jones and Bill Bryan make contact. As the field scrambles, Brett Romano takes a flip.
Problems now in the third turn, and it's Brett Romano rolling over. So a lot of contact, the red flag out. Once Ace, Raymer, Schaeffer.
Chris Ace in the white 17 takes first from the red number 2 of Jesse Wentz on turn 2. It looks like exactly one lap later, the race is stopped, and an unhappy Chris is told he'll have to make the pass again.
4 to go. Brent is out.
He does.
Chris Ace around the outside, looking for the lead. Wentz trying to hold on. Chris Ace, your new leader.
Chris goes on to hold off a late race charge by Jeff Shepard, number 1, for his 25th career Lincoln win. Wentz held on for third.
Once again, I'm a victim of the bad scoring here. You know, I was ahead of him clearly for at least 2 laps. I don't know what's happening here, but you know, we just got to try to battle back. You know, we're racing the scorers up there, and it just ain't right.
May 23rd. A rain delay found Selinsgrove running time trials for the Jack Gunn Memorial and then canceling the heats. The surface is heavy. The Zemco number 1 will be back in the Selinsgrove victory lane for the 4th time in 5 races. Jeff Shepard runs down the 461 of pole sitter Lance DeWeese on the 4th lap among early time trial lineup lap traffic for the $3,000. May 25th, the TV stars are signing autographs as the Outlaws come to Lernerville. A local racer is out of control during time trials. "45 racers perform in front of the packed grandstand. In what cynics proclaimed as one of the Outlaws' finest moments, Lernerville is slicking over. Local favorite Ed Lynch keeps a rubber side down and will start the feature with a provisional. A perfect race. Steve Kinzer starts on the pole and leads all 35 laps to the $10,000 first prize. Here Steve's green Quaker State number 11 holds off second place finisher cousin Mark Kinzer. Donnie Schott's third. It's the Kings' 13th career Lernerville win. May 26th, the Outlaws make their first visit of the year to Williams Grove. Button in tight, Tim Schaeffer. Johnny Bridges and Brooke Webley tangle. Mark Smith will also not qualify with 47 cars trying. Tim Schaeffer caught the cushion, turned right, and caught some air. Fastest tonight are Mark Kinzer and Stevie Smith, and of course they lead the strong field under the green. Mark, number 5, leads the first half a lap as Stevie, number 19, makes his move on the backstretch.
Stevie Smith takes the lead.
An early race restart. Mark comes back as Tyler Walker momentarily makes it a 3-car show.
Number 1, Mark Kinzer takes the lead.
Mark and Stevie exchange the most coveted position one more time on lap 15, but Mark picks up the $5,000 for his 14th career Grove win.
We have a checkered flag for you from Bulls of Newchester.
Oh, look at that!
And what do we got here, Mark?
That's my boy, Cole. Can you say something, Cole? No. No, okay.
At least he said no.
Yeah, he knows that word real well.
Friday night. Tommy Hinnershitz was the winner, and Buster Warkey had a good day, too, at the first race ever here at the Grove back in 1939. It's historically ironic that one of the biggest Grove crowds ever, plus a national TV audience, would witness the closest thing to a boring sprint car race ever conducted here. The second night format begins with time trials for last night's also-rans. Sammy Swindell would be fastest on the extremely slick and slow surface. Kevin Gobrecht's return to the circuit did not go well. Brian Paulus will qualify and finish 23rd. The Stevie Smith fans are always great to look at. Dan Long might be checking him out too. After winning the dash, Stevie leads a perfect single-file parade from the pole. Lap 13 is unlucky for our leader as Stevie's rear end lets loose, bringing out the red. Fellow pole sitter Steve Kinzer, number 11, now leads over our own Donnie Kreitz. Mark Kinzer finished third in the honor, although Steve's chassis does make for an interesting still frame. Randy Grove has the surface heavy as the Outlaws visit Hagerstown, Maryland. Darren Pittman hits hard after contact with Sammy Swindell. It's May 28th. The front row and the race will star Stevie Smith and the Beef Packers 83 of Danny Lazowski. Knoxville veteran Danny feels right at home on the spacious and tacky surface and leads the first lap. But on lap 8, Stevie Smith from New Oxford, PA, driving the Ingersoll Rand number 19, finally finds victory lane on the most competitive outlaw trail ever. Greg Hodnett finished third behind Lazowski.
You got the lead on the 8th lap after Danny Lazowski kind of got away from you a little bit during the early part of the race.
Yeah, my front end was real light on the first couple of laps, and it was getting up over the cushion, and I just calmed down and moved down on the track, and it paid off for us.
You really extended the lead toward the end of the race. You were definitely the fastest car on the racetrack. Does that say something about how you set it up to be fast at the end?
Oh, yeah, the crew did a good job. Like I said, they made a change right before the feature, and they went in the right direction.
The Sunday night Hagerstown finale starts Stevie Smith and Danny Lazowski on the front row again. Smith leads. Fred Raymer needs a change of underwear after contact with Slammin' Sammy. The last lap. Stevie still leads, but Lazowski is not giving up. Tyler Walker finished third.
Tell you what, dude, you chased him down, and I thought you were going to run out of laps. What were you thinking behind the wheel of the 83?
Oh, I didn't know. Stevie was awful tough. When you got him out on open track, he was almost impossible to beat. We never gave up. We got hung behind a couple lap cars running side by side, and when I seen he got racing the 11H and he had to go move off his line, I could see we were gaining, and I just kept concentrating on trying to hit the right line. And this Beef Packers Mac 02 American Press Steel car ended up in the lead, and we can't be happy because here the last month we've really been struggling. This Hagerstown Speedway, I don't think you're going to get much better racetrack than this. You had a top and a bottom, and I enjoy coming down here.
May 29th, the Will Kreitzer Memorial at Silver Spring. Despite all the rumors, we expect that Allen is not about to sell us out here at the irreplaceable track his father helped found nearly 50 years ago. 58 super sportsmen are a big part of why the Springs is the best. The cushion can bite. Just ask Dave Ort. Minor contact just before Keith Prutzman, 28, relieves Bob Gutshaw of the first position. Smokey Snellbaker moves into second. Stacking up some fast ones in turn 3. Joe Renneker, number 25, looks strong now in second and working first away from Prutzman as Smokey and Carmen Perigo make it a 4-car race for the lead. And nobody among the quad pack started in the first 2 rows. Lap 23 offers the final lead change. Carmen Perigo in the Harbolds Ford number 2 slips past Renneker and leads the competitive field home first in the 30-lapper. John Stoner would advance to second with Rich Eichelberger likewise third. Carmen calls Stoystown home, and it's his 6th career Silver Spring win.
Hey, you've been in this a couple years now. What do you think of this sportsman class?
This is great. I mean, I drive 3 hours every week one way to come down here. There's 100 racetracks around home that I can race at, but I come down here.
Went an extra 5 laps tonight. It's the Will Kreitzer Memorial. Special race for you tonight, Carmen.
Yeah, I always told my crew I wish I'd have 5 extra laps. And 2 years ago, I led this up until lap 27, and Bobby Weaver passed me. And I said, well, there's my extra couple laps. I said.
You know, I was trying to remember the race. I thought you were close a couple years ago to winning this.
Yeah, Bobby Weaver snuck around me with about 2 or 3 to go.
We unstick our camera in time to show Larry Bear, who stole the show tonight during late model qualifying. Larry will win the feature here 2 weeks later. Meanwhile, across Pickletown at Lincoln, Ocean View, Delaware's Kurt Michael in the Bostic number 6 takes the lead on the 9th lap from Sean Weaver, 69. Kurt then fights off Chris Ace, 17, for his 2nd stunning win here in 2 years.
Through 3 and 4, Michael reclaims the lead. Final turns, Chris Ace makes his move.
Fred Raymer finished a close 3rd.
I can't believe it. I'm speechless. My URC win here meant so much to me because of beating Fred. But I just can't. I couldn't fathom winning a race the first year.
You know, that race, the URC race, one of the all-time great ones here. You really took it to the wall that night, and you know what? Chris Ace was right beside you that one time. You had to see him there.
I saw him. He got in front of me. I crossed him and come back down. I got a good run on the bottom, and then I found out that the top wasn't the place to be down here, and I moved down to the bottom, and I think that's probably what let me win the race.
May 30th. We have a 3 nights a week circuit again, thanks to the promotion ship of the Sunday night excitement here at Selinsgrove. Pete Green is a newcomer here. Welcome, Pete. Mike Early barely makes it around Jim Kennedy. Mike fences it 1 lap later after barely making it under Mike Duncan. A scary moment during the feature after Jess Thomas brushed the flipping car of Will Kramer. Jess will escape uninjured after a bump on the head, but Will suffered a broken leg in the crash. 10th place starter Todd Schaeffer, 88, takes the lead from the Weichert 29 of Rod George on the 17th lap. It's the defending champion's 2nd Selinsgrove win of the season. Todd Hester, 3rd. Racing everything from Silver Spring Super Sportsmen to the Outlaws, Mark Smith catches some Z's when he can. 25 Super Sportsmen join the 29 sprinters at Selinsgrove tonight. Number 82, Wild Bill Heckert, led for 10 laps until trouble in lap traffic handed the lead and win over to the Highlands tire number 3, as piloted by 13th place starter Frankie Herr. A wide-awake Mark Smith finished 2nd, with J.R. Fry 3rd.
Hey, you were creeping up there on Bill Heckert. Could you tell what happened to the 82 as you guys were coming off 4?
I don't know. There was a lap car in there, and I figured as fast as I caught him, if I just played it cool, and I'd probably be able to drive by him pretty easy. But there's a lap car here on the bottom. I think he might have tried to get under him and they hooked or something. Didn't see it, though.
Mark Smith was coming on strong. Did you know he was back behind you?
Yeah, he showed his nose there on the yellow, but I thought, hey, you better be running because this 3 is getting it done.
June 4th, Sean Keane and Mike Wagner are both trying to get their first Williams Grove win done. One will succeed, and it's not Sean. It's Harrisonville's Mike Wagner's first start as the new driver of the Walt Dyer 461. Jeff Shepard and Dale Blaney followed.
Well, if you're trying to impress your new car owner, I think you got it done tonight.
Yeah, we're sure glad to be here, and I'm glad to be here for him.
Mike, what happened? Contact with Sean Keane in turn 2 in the early restart. You tell us what happened.
Well, I just got a good run on him because he messed up a little coming off 4. And I was coming down the front stretch here, and I went to go underneath of him, and I thought I had him cleared, but, you know, I didn't try to get into him, which I did. I just, you know, I feel bad about that. It's just a racing deal.
37 super sportsmen join the 24 sprinters tonight. Dave Hort leads the sportsman drivers when it comes to frequent flyer miles this year. We expect Dave's going to be a good one.
Turn number 2, red flag.
Craig Morrow, number 6, and Glenn Keller, 71, lead the field. Morrow noses ahead. Mark Smith and Henry's Towing 22 started 16th, but the sportsmen are particularly racy. And the Camp Hill driver and current Tour points leader moves to 3rd on the Grove's all-time win list for the sportsmen. Carmen Perigo makes a last lap challenge while Morrow hangs in for 3rd.
Side by side off 4, coming for the checkered flag. Mark Smith will win it. Perigo gets 2nd.
Sprint car experience helping any with the sportsman car?
Yeah, it's really helping out a lot. I mean, this is actually the first time I've driven back to back, and jumping out of the Sprinter and then getting into this, man, it's like driving a Cadillac to a Mack truck. You know, it's like Jesus. But it's really helped me out a lot. It's helped me get a little smoother on the corners and keep my speed up. But yeah, it helps a lot.
June 5th, 21 supers will participate in twin 20 feature events here at Port Royal. On the start of the first feature, Jess Thomas and Todd Schaeffer do some minor wing folding. Cliff Bryan, 16, leads with Mike Wagner closing. Just as it appeared Mike was ready to make his move, the 461 clips a slowing lapped car. Cliffy is alone in front again and really hauling the mail. Problems for front runners continue as Keith Kaufman's move into 2nd past Lynn Thompson is very temporary. And now Bryan catches the inside rail in lap traffic. Lynn Thompson from Newtown, driving the Richboro 1 in Garden number 10, will take the win, holding off Joe Harz's number 88, as now driven by Lance DeWeese. Sean Keane 3rd.
Hey, what, did you think you had a lot of competition out there in that first twin 20?
There's always a lot of competition here at Port Royal. I knew Lance was right there. I just got to say thanks very much to my parents. Thank God for this, a 2nd win. I was very happy to have that. Thanks to all my sponsors. My one sponsor, Butch Pletcher from Richboro Lawn Gardens, here tonight, so I was glad he was here to see the win.
Well, Len, you know, it's always a pleasure to get you in victory lane. I know last time we talked to you, it was that first career feature win. Only fitting you make that 2nd one here at Port Royal also.
Definitely, I love this place.
The second 20. Keith Kaufman dives under the 1/2 of Vaughn McGee on the 4th lap and into the lead. Rick Kaler gets pinched into the steal. Again, nobody seems to want to win. Kaufman has dropped out, returning the top position to McGee until lap 12, when he also broke down. Lance DeWeese picks up his first win as driver of the C&B Mushroom car over the 461 of Mike Wagner, with Sean Keane again finishing 3rd.
I'll tell you what, when you looked over up there at last restart and seen the old car on the inside of you, sort of brought back memories of you running that low side.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if he had moved up another foot, I don't think either of us was going to finish because it had been ugly. But yeah, he gave me just enough room to get on by him, because if he'd come on up, I think we'd both been gone, because I wasn't giving him nothing. He wasn't going to give me nothing, but he didn't wreck me or anything. He just gave me enough line to get on by him.
The Fairgrounds at Kutztown is in its 3rd year of offering micro sprints as the headline division every Wednesday night through the summer. The large field of little sprinters are joined by the class car legends, plus a new division for '99, the Tobias creations known as Slingshots. Kutz hosts what appears to us to be the largest weekly crowds for any small car show on the circuit. The secret for the success here, we believe, is the early midweek ending, with every show this season completely over before 10 o'clock. Many racetracks promise this, But here next to Kutztown University, they actually make sure it happens. That's not to say there isn't some delays for unscheduled action. June 8th, Boyertown's Tom Terry, number 3, leads the stellar field home for his first career Kutztown win. Terry leads Trevor Lewis and Mike Miller across the finish.
One more.
June 11th, Williams Grove offers $10,000 to win as part of its time trial Diamond Series. Chris Ace leads from the pole over the 7 of Keith Kaufman.
Leads the field down the backstretch. Keith Kaufman right there. They charge into 3. Kaufman tries the low side. Chris up top. Off turn number 4 they come. Chris Ace will lead lap number 1.
Lance DeWeese in the yellow 88 closes in on Chris as both leaders avoid a lap traffic deal in turn 3.
Chris ducks to the low side, splits the lap cars. McBee spins. Kaufman gets by.
DeWeese makes the winning pass on lap 12. Jeff Shepard started 9th and is our hard charger of the night with this last lap challenge to DeWeese. But it's the 33-year-old's 39th career Grove win. Ace held on to 3rd. Also on June 11th, for something different, let's catch some of the thrilling stock car action at the Hostetter Plantation and the Trailway Speedway. The number 5 of Bobby Beard and the 10 of Doug Devilbiss go side by side for the lead. So, it's Hanover's Bobby Beard leading Craig Woggeman across the line for the win tonight at the TW. June 12th, Lyndon Mathias and Mike Enders are among the 40-car field as the Cars sprinters pull a good crowd as the marquee division tonight at Port Royal. Nate Snyder in the high group. Lyndon Mathias has less luck in the high groove, but is okay. The 727 will need some work. Greg Labby, 77, came from 10th starting spot and slips under the 99 of Rich Carnathan into the lead on just the 4th lap. Lap traffic problems for Rich, and now Mike Enders is on his head. Libby, who is anticipating a year off in 2000, or perhaps even retirement, leads Mark Richard and Mike Lehman across the finish here at the port.
Well, the first thing that I'd like to say is I sort of slid up on Richie Carnathan. I didn't mean to do it. You know, if it was one of them deals where I meant to do it, I definitely would have got into him more than what I did. I mean, I'm really sorry about that. It wasn't intentional, and, you know, I hope it doesn't happen anymore. I don't know if I'm ever going to come back, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to win here this year. So I'd like to say thanks to everybody that's here tonight, and if I come back, great. If I don't, I'm going to miss every one of you.
Meanwhile, across the mountain, the 410 sprinters are at Lincoln 31 strong. Troy Fraker will take a ride after getting over the tire of Jimmy McBee.
The 12-car breaker up on the wall. The red flag's going to come out.
Mike Miller makes a scary pit stop, but nobody is hurt.
Spins in the second turn.
Feature time. Chris Ace comes from 7th to work first from the 69 of a much-improved big block Weaver. Jeff Shepard and Fred Raymer tail the leaders.
Weaver tries to reclaim it. Hey, your leader.
A wild night for Millers as Jeff rides the outside wall.
He
The 15th lap restart. Jeff Shepard, number 1, started in Fred Raymer's usual starting spot of 12th, but is on a mission. Jeff later narrowly avoided a spinning lapped car. Randy Glover did not. It's Jeff over Ace and Raymer.
Congratulations, great run.
I'll tell you what, I got the shits to listen to Fred Raymer up here. How about you guys? Woo! Woo!
What a run. There was a lot of fast race cars here tonight, and you were faster than any of them. You were fast.
I'll tell you what, I don't think our car was as fast as I was mad. I just cannot stand him up here every damn week. He told me I better just pick up the program, and we did it tonight, and this one's for Fred. Woo!
There's nobody he likes to beat more than you, but he couldn't begin to catch you tonight. What a run.
Well, that's good. I was hoping he was sleeping on that initial start. He made me so mad earlier in the race when he come down there just running his mouth. I said, I can't even take it. So then I just went out there and stood on it and drove it until the wheels fell off that sucker. I run clean in the fence over there. We got a good restart on Chris, and I almost spun out a couple times, but I just had it in the back of my head. I wasn't going to let him beat me anymore. I can't take it.
Veteran Gary Gullib has found a home racing the 358 Sprinters, which are 19 cars strong on Sunday night, June 13th at Selinsgrove. During heat race competition, Gary lost his steering on the backstretch and goes for quite a spin. Former micro pilot Eric Stamball will never forget his first visit to Selinsgrove as he wires the field over Greg Libby and Dale Hammaker.
I have absolutely no idea what to say. This is my first 358 sprint win. This is my second year, and we've been working so hard. Jeff and Roy and Scott, Mike and Aaron, my dad Ed. It's just these guys work so hard. We worked hard all winter, and we've kind of been in a slump here. We tore up some cars, and these guys, I forgot to mention Brian, these guys just never give up. And sometimes when I'm feeling like I'm ready, they're there to push me. Just unbelievable.